You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Indeed, you are. Welcome, everybody, to the Thunder's podcast here, the Bring the Thunder podcast. You guys know how it is. OKC takes down the Timberwolves in a very close nail-biter of a game. SGA flu game is upon us as he drops 40 despite being a game-time decision. So let's just kind of dive right into this, fellas. What a game all around. Anyone wants to kick us off, be my guest.
Yeah, I'll just run the box score real quick. SGA, like you said, 40 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I am a bit confused. He did get a defensive rebound at the end of the game to give him a 7th, but they didn't mark it down yet, so we'll keep an eye out on that. I'm nitpicking, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I am. Chet, 12-9, miserable game until the fourth quarter, where he's starting to become one of the most clutch players on the team. Big 3 on the right wing to pretty much seal it. Hartenstein goes for 15 and 7. Excellent game from him. And how about AJ Mitchell off the bench with 13 really good points in the fourth quarter? He was dominant, had a nice stretch of his own. While Minnesota was making some big-time shots, they played their ass off. Minnesota, for them, and Edwards goes for 31. A lot of the points came in the second half, 50% from 3. Pretty good game from him. Big-time Julius Randle game tonight, Sapphire. 10 points, 2 of 13 for Julius Randle. And Terrence Shannon, we mentioned him in the preview, and he goes for 18 off the bench, doesn't miss a shot. So shout out to us for calling that, but just want to say a great win for OKC tonight. It was nice to see them go up against some competition, go up against some adversity in the fourth quarter. It got close. They even gave up the lead. We ended up Naz Reid hit a corner 3 to give the Timberwolves the lead. And then Chris Finch called that timeout when it was a tie game and they got the ball. And right after he called that dumbass timeout where they seemed to have all the momentum, they missed a shot and OKC goes on a little run. That's it. Like, it was over right after that. And that's how we know OKC, you know, they do that most of the time. They'll go on a quick run to end game quick. But I was very happy with what I saw tonight. A little more, effectiveness on the offensive end is coming with J-Dub. Last for me, I'm just going to say the Timberwolves made some really good shots tonight. They played their asses off. They still lost by 8 to OKC without a top 12 player in the NBA. So that's it for me. And I'm going to shout out Indy. What up, Indy? Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Hope everyone's doing good. But I'm going to let someone else take it.
Before we get too far into the game itself, I want to shout out Brooks Barnheiser for the triple-double with the OKC Blue today. So just a quick little shout out. I know, we want to have a little bit of blue coverage starting to enter the YouTube. So be on the lookout for the members. We'll have some videos out for you guys for weekly recaps on the blue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gabe, before we get into, the breakdown of the game, we got a bunch of members chiming in here. So let's get to our members first. I already shouted out Indy there. Unk, what's going on, Unk? How you doing? He said play some defense in the fourth quarter here in my living room, but it was a good win. I think we all got down into a defensive stance, slapped the ground because, like Mark Espinoza says, I think we were all a bit sweaty towards the end of the game. I just kept reminding myself, we have number 2 on the floor. We have number 2 on the floor. We have the MVP. He's the best ever. So we're going to be all right. And I was right there. There we go. Mark again. He said our threes were falling till it needed to. Chet at the end, of course. Mark again. We all know it wasn't going to be a 30-point win, but it shows how gritty we are. Yes, that's never going to leave this team. So even when they aren't playing great on the offensive side of the ball and they're missing players, they can still come out on top. Unk again here. Minnesota couldn't play any better than what they did tonight. They could have played a little bit better. I think they made some excellent shots tonight, especially in the second half. I think they could have had a much better first half, but the second half they couldn't have played any better, and we still come out on top in a game where we didn't play too great. And then, they shot super well from 3 tonight, especially Anthony Edwards, 50%. But Gabe, go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys have been listening to me anytime now, you know my thoughts on the Timberwolves. They're a team that, regardless of the night, regardless of the team, the season, they play us really, really tight in the regular season. They've always been a team that gives us a lot of hard times, a lot of troubles. Tonight was no different. it feels to me like we often play down to them. That first half, they were really struggling. We could have been up by 15 at some points, and it felt like a lot of times we just were not knocking down the shots we needed to. Meanwhile, in that first half, Ant was really struggling. I mean, the entire game, Randall was struggling, but he had just been struggling in that first half. But we just weren't knocking down some of the shots that we needed to. Second half, it just became a battle of who wants it more. And frankly, we did. I mean, you could tell by the end that we wanted it more, but particularly I want to shout out AJ wanted it more. AJ Mitchell tonight was incredible. I mean, pushing the pace when we needed to, finishing tough shots. He had that crazy layup that should have been an and one, but that crazy off balance, falling over layup. Incredible player. AJ Mitchell. I mean, we couldn't have gotten a better steal for this team. He's exactly what we need, and he gets the job done night in and night out. And tonight was one of those nights. So I just feel like we wanted it more. It was obvious, and AJ won me over tonight for sure. Not that he hasn't already.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And just one more point on AJ Mitchell, because it frustrated me a little bit. He was off in crunch time, even though he had a pretty decent start to the fourth quarter. What do you guys think about that? Me personally, I think he should have been on the floor during that time. I can get to it after I hear your opinions, but
no, I agree completely. I mean, he had, especially tonight, he had earned it. He had earned the rights to have crunch time minutes tonight. I mean, he kept us afloat a lot. When tonight, any moment that Shea was on the court, we were succeeding. Our Shea minutes were incredible tonight, and that's because he was on one. Shea was one, like Joe said, Shea was the best player in the world tonight, per usual, but it was a little different tonight. He was playing, I know we mentioned this in the group chat, but we got aggressive Shea tonight. We got angry Shea, which he scores 40 when he's aggressive and angry, and that's something that's really nice to see. But in the minutes where he was out, AJ was absolutely doing everything he could to keep us afloat, and he was doing a great job. So personally, Jack, I couldn't agree more. I think it's kind of absurd that AJ hasn't earned the rights to be playing in crunch time. He's the kind of player I want in crunch time right now, but Joe, Savir, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you guys raise a good question there. Good point by you, Gabe, as well. I think he's earned it to a point. Listen, when Dub gets back, the ending lineup in crucial games in the playoffs, I'm not talking about regular season right now. I think it's going to be SGA, Alex Caruso, or Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, and then one of the bigs, if not both. AJ Mitchell should have played tonight. He should have played in the fourth quarter tonight. He had it rolling. But in crunch time, they chose to put Lou Dort in over AJ Mitchell, which is, I can't complain about that. Julius Randle went 2 of 13. Lou Dort obviously played a hell of a game tonight on the defensive end. So I can't necessarily argue that AJ should be in over Dort. AJ played, he plays really good defense. But it's going to be hard for him to find those minutes late in these games for now, especially when J-Dub gets back, just because we're so deep. And I think we won a championship with kind of the lineup we had out at the end of the quarter, at the end of the fourth tonight without Dub, of course. I don't think there's any need to change that right now.
I agree with Joe. My 2 cents on this would be AJ's still developing, and to build that like calmness that Lou Dort has, or the guys that have the experience in the big moments, I'd rather trust the guys that have been there and have done that, even though, Twitter people will tell you Lou Dort's not all that, but he's been in big games, and we call him big game Lou Dort for a reason, and he always shows up. You want the guys in the right place. It's not always just about who can score the ball the most. You want guys that have the experience, and guys like Caruso, Lou Dort, they're just a calming force. And they know where to be. They know how to space the floor. They know what needs to be done to win the game. So I always prefer guys like that. I know AJ's still up and coming. Eventually, he could earn his spot into it. But until, he gets a full season under his belt, like that's how it is with the Thunder. You don't just get your spot in just because you're having a good set of running games. And as Joe mentioned, the deep, the team is super deep. So there's still some time left for him to get better, but he did have 0 turnovers tonight, the 3 assists, 13 points. I do want to shout out our preview. Most of the stuff we said in the preview was right. We took the Shea over, I took the Chet under personally. I took AJ under, I believe, as well in this one. So I feel like we as a group did really well in terms of guessing how the game would go. We even kind of mentioned that the Timberwolves would try to keep it close, and they pretty much did and forced Shea to play. And so I'm pretty proud of us. And if you guys aren't checking out those previews, you definitely have to, guys.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's free game, especially if you're betting money, by the way. We're kind of Thunder insiders. We may just be fans, but we cover the sport 24/7. So
absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. If you go check out the past 3, we've been nails. We've been nails on the previews. But that being said, we are not betting analysts, so we don't advise you guys to take anything that we are saying. But if you want to go check it out, go ahead. Yeah. Really quick, I want to shout out some of the members here from the comments. Here we go with Mark. He said iHeart was tough tonight too. Let's talk about iHeart real quick tonight. The best big on the floor tonight. He was dominant. Absolutely dominating the paint. Obviously 15 and 7 on 60%. Got to the line a few times, but just his presence was a major factor in the game tonight for me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been saying this a lot recently. Hart's been playing very well this season. He's really been feeling confident in the way that he plays. But, I mean, the first thing you kind of have to shout out is that ridiculous putback. I mean, that was one of the most impressive putbacks I've seen in a while. And for a guy his size to be getting a putback like that, that's crazy. But no, playing against – people hate Rudy Gobert, and I understand. Like, I get it. And people dog on him all the time. You can't deny that he is a good defensive player in the paint. And Hartenstein made it work. He got around him. He got his 15. He got his 7 boards. He wasn't struggling. He wasn't drowning out there. He was making it look, I'm not going to say easy, but he was doing exactly what we needed to do and more. So I was a big fan of that for sure. I definitely felt like Hart was getting things done.
I'm also going to shout out State really quick. State, what up, bro? This is a normal viewer. So what's good, State? Sapphire, where are you going to go?
I was going to go with the fact that Shea, this is his second time this season scoring 40 points. This is our 10th straight win. We're 9-0 at home. I don't know the next time we're going to lose at home as this team. We're also 3-0 in the NBA Cup. So we're starting to rack up our own records. And I do want to shout out Bradley for his early comments. I was going to get to that here. I appreciate you mentioning the new presentation. We're trying to up our game. But also Shea has extended his scoring streak of 20 plus to 91, and he's about to enter that second place spot with J-Dub still not having played and all the other streaks that were going on. So he's, about to catch Wilt there. I believe he'll do it this season. There's no reason he shouldn't. Longest streak for 20 plus points. I mean, this is getting really impressive that he's kept this up, and I'm sure he knows about the streak. So he's definitely trying to get his 20 in. I believe he got it in like the first half. So very quick work by SGA tonight.
And I appreciate, Bradley, you throwing in the J-Dub still has not played, because I think last game you didn't throw that in there, and I was kind of upset, but I'm happy it's back.
He got it in afterwards. He got it in afterwards.
Yeah. There you go. I'm going to swing it back to Jack really quick, because I do think you bring up a really good point with the AJ Mitchell thing. Okay, I think you want to argue a different point of view.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying every game he should be on in the fourth quarter, but this fourth quarter in particular, he had 6 points, 3 assists, 2 for 3 from the field, whereas Lou Dort went 2 points and 1 for 3 from the field. I feel like in this particular game, AJ should have been playing, especially they were doubling Shea down the line, and he had to pass it, but then the rest of the guys didn't really want it, so it just bounced around, and then somehow found Chet in the corner, which was good, but I think AJ would have taken that, gone straight to the hoop. He's, in my opinion, the 4th best scorer on our team. His confidence and I would love to discuss this. Yep.
Who's the top 3? Obviously, SGA, J-Dub, Aaron Wiggins. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Chet is a better scorer in a different way, I'd say. Like he's more elite.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
He's got a wider range, but like any game.
Yeah, I agree. If you need a bucket, you're not going to throw the ball to Chet. You're going to probably go to AJ first. I understand where he's coming from there.
Just ball handling, I'd say.
I'm throwing the ball to Chet, but y'all
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, I want to add a supporting argument to Jack as well, talking about AJ. I know he mentioned playing guys like Dort and Caruso and whatnot because of the experience and being able to step up in those big moments, but how is AJ ever going to get there if we don't let him have chances to step up in those big moments? Like in games like this, like I agree with Jack. I'm not saying he should be playing him every game, but in a fourth quarter where we need more offense opposed to more defense necessarily, I would like to see him come in and knock down some offensive plays. And then if suddenly, their offense is going on a streak, which I will admit Ant was on one tonight, but it gets to a point where it's like, clearly we need offense right now. We're in a bit of a black hole situation where they're double teaming Shea, like Jack said. And then all of a sudden people aren't necessarily knocking down the shots we need him to. For example, Dort had that wide open corner three and he had missed the two before and he kicks it out instead. And it kind of roughed the whole play up. Right. AJ is not hesitating out of that, So I feel like if we give a player like that chances and let their offense come in those fourth quarters and let the confidence happen, like eventually he's going to become a hell of a fourth quarter player. So yeah. I understand playing guys like that because they have the experience, but at the same time, it's still the regular season. We're at the time 17-1. I don't necessarily have a problem with getting a little risky and trying AJ in that situation.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. It's touchy. It's a hard subject to go about, and that's why I'm thankful I'm not the coach on every single night because Mark has to make those decisions, and if he makes the wrong one, he's going to get bashed for it. So, but I believe either way, it would be the right decision. It's tough, but I do want to focus back on SGA tonight. Obviously, the big 40 ball gets 6 rebounds and 6 assists, but I swear he had 7. Maybe I'm going crazy, but. Anyway, there was a point in the fourth quarter and the third, actually both, where I think he could have easily scored at least 10 more points, but he wanted to get the teammates involved. It's a regular season game. It's free flowing. And I'm just noticing him out there. He always thinks he's super confident in the last 3 minutes of the game. Like Sapir and I touched on a lot in the postseason, he's become one of the better closers in the league. And every time he has the ball in his hands down the stretch, he's got everyone thinking he's going to win, and he has been. For him to be getting his teammates involved in this tight of a game, kicking it out to AJ Mitchell, kicking it out to Casey Wallace to give him a lead, that's where the growth is happening for this team. They're still growing as a team. They're still growing with confidence. But he could have easily scored 10 more points and won the game. But he goes to his teammates a lot in that third and fourth quarter. I just want to highlight that. Because he knows what he's doing. He knows he could go get it. And in the finals, he's going to probably go get it. But right now, he's installing confidence into every single one of these players around him. And I think that's super important. I don't want that to be undershined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wanted to add on to that as well. Coming off of that, that's kind of the difference between what we saw tonight with OKC and what we saw with Minnesota. Because while Ant was on a heater in that fourth quarter, notice at the end how many threes he started just chucking up even when they weren't falling. And that's because he was trying to put all the weight on his own back. He wasn't trusting in his teammates as much. And I'm not going to lie, I don't blame him. Randall wasn't exactly on a good one tonight, so I understand why he's putting up those shots. But that's the difference between someone like Shea at that level and someone like Ant, where Ant is this pure scorer. Shea can be a pure scorer. Shea can be a playmaker. Shea can lock down your favorite guard. Shea can go in and get rebounds. That's the difference right there. And you see that tonight where instead of Shea trying to force shots when I agree, Joe, he could have had 10 more points easily because it's a switch. Aggressive Shea is a switch. He'll turn it on for 5 minutes. You cannot stop him. And then he turns it off and he starts looking to move the ball. If you go a full game, I would love to see a full game where that's just turned on. I think he scores 50 easy. So it's the kind of difference between a player like that where Ant, don't get me wrong, like I said, huge shots from him. He's an incredible player. But in that fourth quarter, he was putting up a lot of tough shots, a lot. Like that 3 that he hit over Hartenstein was crazy. And honestly, I don't think he hits that 5 out of 10 times. I mean, that is a tough shot. And Shea, for example, isn't going to put up a tough shot like that. Instead, tonight, he picks his shots very intelligently. He was only 1 for 2 from 3. He only took 2 threes. He wasn't forcing threes. He still ends up with 40. He gets 6 assists. He's getting everyone else involved. Our team wins. There's a connection there.
I absolutely want to continue this SGA talk, but first, I'm going to get to Original Tabby over here. Shout out. Wait, that's the wrong comment. Where did it go?
Well,
Where did it go, Tabby? There you are. Shout out Tabby's brother because, listen, they played a hell of a game, Tabby. They really did. They played a hell of a game. Tell them it's okay to lose to the champs in OKC. It is definitely okay. But next time, for him not to get so upset after the game, kind of limit his expectations, okay? I think 8 points and covering a 10-point spread is a win for Minnesota here. Now they're losing 3 in a row, but they played well, so that'll comfort him a little bit. But we are a little bit past the 20-minute mark, so I do want to get to everybody's favorite segment of the night, and it is called "What the Hell is Jack Wearing?" If you're new to the channel here, every night after a Thunder victory, Jack wears an OKC jersey. None of us know what it is. None of us know who he's wearing, but I think I could already tell, by the way. But he doesn't tell the panel. Obviously, you guys in the comments do not know. So drop your guesses in the comments right now. We'll pull them up on the board while you guys are dropping your comments. Gabe, why don't you kick it off with the guessing?
Oh, man.
I love that, by the way, from Indy. Love that, but from Indy.
I'm going AJ. Jack's talking about him so high tonight. I was high on him too. Jack's trying to get justice for AJ, hoping maybe Mark will see our episode and see the AJ Mitchell jersey and play him more. So I'm going AJ.
Oh man, who do I go with? I feel like I haven't gotten this right at all. Man, I feel like Shea. I'm choosing Shea tonight. He just had too big of a game to ignore. I'm going to go with the obvious because I feel like I go away from the obvious so often that I'm going to double guess against Jack and trick him.
So we have
Joe.
Gabe, who did you choose?
AJ.
And Sapir?
SGA.
Shea.
Okay, so we have SGA, AJ. We got a SGA from Tabby here, AJ from Mark Espinoza. Unk is going. He's not going Wiggins tonight. I think Unk's got Wiggins every night of the year.
Yeah,
interesting.
He could have another Wiggins jersey.
We got Jack wearing J-Dub. We got Landon saying Hartenstein. All right, I see the Nike swoosh, so I know it's got to be recent. I know it has to be. Who could it be tonight? It's a blue away jersey. Yeah, Mark, I think I'm going to do it too. I think I'm going to pull it again today. You keep swaying me, Mark. I'm not going to lie. God, I need to get this right tonight. I'm sorry for taking a quick pause here, but I got to get it right tonight. I think I've missed 2 in a row. He's not wearing J-Dub because he wore J-Dub the other night. I think AJ Mitchell had a fantastic game off the bench tonight, and I think he deserves it. Let's lock in AJ Mitchell. Unk going with Case and Wallace, but I'm going with AJ Mitchell tonight.
All right. I can confirm that nobody is correct.
What?
It is an Aaron Wiggins jersey.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
I mean,
we're in a curveball there.
Unk's got to feel terrible.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know.
Oh no.
Terrible.
I thought tonight was going to be the night that Unk finally gets it, but of course he
Oh,
just
man.
That's
All right.
tragic.
Oh no.
Honestly, that's going to bother me for the rest of the night. But let's get back to the SGA talk because this mustache guy in the comments. Yeah, I'll do a mustache. I don't really do anything. I just kind of sit here and it grows. Anyway, back to SGA. 40 points tonight, obviously. Putting up historic numbers. I'm not sure, but I know at some point during the game, he reached 50, 40, 90. He reached 50, 40, 90. I'm not sure if the 2 missed free throws put him back under 90%. Somebody could go check that if you want. But 40 points, averaging just over 32. Going to reach 50, 40, 90 this season. I really do believe that. His 3-point shot looks amazing to start the year. Are we going to see an even better season than we saw last year? Hold on. Sound the alarms. Indy Sports gifts another Bring the Thunder podcast membership. Round of applause for Indy. W's in the chat for Indy. Indy, we appreciate you. I wonder who it is. Whoever it is, get your comment up. We can thank you for joining the community. But Indy, shout out you. I guess that's a good point to stop on real quick. The memberships, guys. Go to the YouTube channel and check out our premium memberships. I promise you the perks are there. Our perks on there are unbelievable. You can come join the live if you DM us at Bring the Thunder Podcast. If you are a member, you can come join our weekly recordings that we do behind the scenes. We do game videos. And obviously, if you are a member, you already know that we do the intense dive-ins on the advanced metrics of each player, 1 player per week. But shout out, Indy. Really appreciate you. But let's get back to it.
I want to touch on a point real quick.
Yeah, I was just going to ask the question. Are we going to see a better season than last year than we did from SGA? But go ahead, Sapir.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes, astoundingly, but I do want to mention something we mentioned in the preview is that the Timberwolves are lacking a playmaker. I was looking through all their assist numbers.
Sapir, I'm sorry, but we do have to sound the alarms. It is
Oh,
Mike B. Mike B, welcome to the community, brother. I've seen Mike in the comments every live. Shout out Mike B. Welcome to the community, man. Go ahead, Sapir.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that the Timberwolves are lacking playmaking, and that's one of the things that I mentioned that would be their downfall. I think that was my X factor for the game, was them in the fourth quarter. They've had two pretty close fourth quarter losses, I believe, to the Kings and maybe to the Suns, and they did the same thing against us. I think Ant's the only real ball handler they have, and he's not really the best. He's not got the best handle, to be honest, and I feel like that's something they need to shore up in the offseason, and they're really just lacking that go-to guy, even though they have Ant, but I think someone needs to set him up a little bit better. So I think this is going to continue for the Wolves, where they're going to be kind of in that middle of the pack, kind of a 500 team until either they let some of their young guys step up later into the season, or they make a trade for someone that's able to assist a little bit better than what they've got right now, especially against a team like ours.
Yeah, if they do make that trade really quick, before we get back to SGA, if they do make that trade, it would have to involve moving on from Julius Randle, because that is the guy they brought in, and obviously he's not doing it for them. They went to the Western Conference Finals last year, but they got taken out in 5. They went the year before. Listen, Edwards can't carry, like you mentioned, the whole game. They got to get some playmakers, and Terrence Shannon Jr. is not going to be it unless they're playing OKC. So.
Yeah, to get to the answer for SGA, I do want to answer that real quick. Yeah. I feel like he is going to have a better season. He's probably dropped down. He's like just a percentage off from the free throw percentage to get that 50, 40, 90. But I think at the end of the season, he'll end up with that, with a bunch of other accolades similar to last season, where he has a bunch of 50-point games, 40-point games, 30-point games, and he'll start recording those more and more as the season kind of goes on, and teams are going to play us tougher. We've also had a top 5 easiest schedule, so we're going to start seeing in the second half of the season a lot tougher competition, more opportunity for him to play in the fourth. So his numbers are actually deflated because he's sat like 10 fourth quarters out of the 18 games that we've won. So there's still a lot of room for growth in terms of his numbers, and I know Gabe wanted to chime in, so come on in, Gabe.
Yeah, I was going to mention something about the Timberwolves real quick as well before I get back to the Thunder. And the Timberwolves have a small window that's starting to close really quickly. And I'm honestly concerned for them as an organization, but I'm concerned for where it's going to go for them, because we've talked about it a lot today with Ant. Ant is an incredible player, but talking about the playmaking side of him, it's not the fact that he isn't necessarily good at it. It's the fact that his mind is not wired for that. He isn't thinking about making the pass. He's thinking about how he can get open. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but in this scenario, it doesn't work if you don't have a playmaker, and they do not have one. So they're in this bad spot where Rudy's contract is really rough. Rudy's contract is terrible. Same with they're just in a bad place right now. Randall's isn't good either, and Ant's gonna get disgruntled at some point, and I'm sure he's gonna request a trade at some point as well. So it's bad news for the Timberwolves organization right now, and I'm curious to see where it goes. Talking about Shea, to answer your question, Joe, I agree with Sav here. I do think we're going to see, at least from the advanced metrics, a better year from Shea. It is going to be interesting to see how the season goes on, given the fourth quarters and whatnot. Landon, yeah, very good point. Losing Na was bad for them. It was interesting that they chose to let him go. But continuing to talk about Shea, yeah, I think I kind of talked about this in one of our other episodes, but Shea is choosing when and where to hone in on his skills and practice new things, which, Saver, you've mentioned this a lot. You've talked about how Westbrook became an assister and then a rebounder. It feels like Shea is going to start that path. He's maybe not the concept of a triple-double, but he's starting this path of practicing things that maybe aren't normal for him. So he was a high-volume scorer last year. Okay, so now he's going to average his most assists and his least amount of turnovers per game. He's got over a 4 assists to 1 turnover ratio. It's just insane. But then he's shooting consistently from 3 as well. He's starting to ramp up his defense as well. He's high in the defensive rating. It's going to be one of those years where you're not stopping Shea unless he decides that he's going to go docile for a little bit and let other people get in.
Gabe, I want to chime in. The thing that just came into my mind, his mentor is CP3 one of the best guards to have ever played in the NBA and one of the least turnover prone guys. So I just think of Shea having been mentored by CP3, who had a tremendous career. And I think last season I started mentioning, I think Shea is going to be way better than CP3. Obviously, he got the ring to prove that. But I think as a player, he's 6'6" CP3 with better shooting, better three-point shooting, better defensive capabilities, and the high IQ that he's learning on a day-to-day with getting that mentorship. And I think that's taken him the furthest, was having CP3 in his back pocket always to go to and be like, hey, what do I need to improve in my game? And having a player like that off the court, that you can reach out to has been probably the biggest support that he could have. And so I just think of him as a 6'6". What if CP3 was 6'6"? And we're seeing that with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander pretty much.
Yeah,
Right.
That's a fire comparison right there. What if CP3 was 6'6"? But
this is exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there was one more little thing I wanted to mention as well, and that was, Joe, you mentioned it earlier, but I want to kind of dig into it a little more, and that's the aggressive Shai. There is one player that I know from just watching highlights, watching a bit of him when I was younger, one player who's been this dominant in terms of I'm going to score now, and that was Kobe. There is reasons he gets compared to Kobe, and we saw it tonight. When he gets aggressive, when he gets frustrated, he does what we actually talked about in our members only episode where we broke down Shai. Make sure if you guys pay for that, I promise it's worth it. But we talked a lot about Shai when we broke down his gameplay. And one of the things that I said that will continue to blow my mind about Shai is how he plays the game at his pace and everyone else has to react. Tonight, that was the case. When he's angry, he plays the game at his pace. But here's the big difference. He'll play the game at his pace, and that's slowing it down. But when he's angry, he's speeding it up out of control. And he's the only one that's keeping it where it needs to be. So he's speeding it up like crazy. He's taking players to the hoop. He's finishing over top of them, or he's coming back. He's pulling it back. He's knocking down his threes, but he's moving faster than anybody else can even comprehend it. And that's literally unstoppable. And that's when you see him get some of his free throws, but it's not because he's getting baited or it's not because he's getting dumb ones. It's because you can't keep up with a player like that and you have to foul. So an angry Shai, a confident Shai, it's ridiculous, the heights of this kid. There's no reason. I call him a kid. He's older than me. It's ridiculous, the heights of him, but it's just insane. It's something that Kobe Bryant once had. They called it the Mamba mentality. That's what it is.
Maple Mamba. But anyway, I do want to shout out Unk right here. Unk has been with us in the community for quite a little while now. It's not me who said it. Anyway, Sapphire, one last thing, and then we're going to get a.
No, I wanted Jack to chime in on the Shai growth because he hasn't gotten a chance yet.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have hit every point that I would say. Like some great, great quality content there. Not much left for me to say, but I love the comparison, like the 6'6", Chris Paul, and I think the IQ is really there as well. Shai's a high IQ player. I mean, you see it with what some people might call flopping and foul baiting, what I refer to as punishing undisciplined defense, but
yes,
he learned it from the best, and now he is the best. So,
hey, we're gonna quote that tomorrow. Love that. Let me get to two of these comments really quick. State, absolutely. Fourth quarter SGA, it's so fun to watch. It's the best thing ever. And I'm just gonna chime in one last thing about SGA, and then we're gonna get to something cool. There was a point in tonight's game where I was watching him go at Anthony Edwards. He was going at Anthony Edwards. And maybe a few times in that Western Conference Finals last year, he kind of deferred to a different player when Ant kind of got into him. He was salivating. He was going right at that guy every time he guarded him. So the growth from SGA is just unbelievable.
I guess those Ant commercials didn't pay off too much, huh?
Yeah, not too much at all. Not too much at all. But with that being said, we finally have a name for it. It is time for Satvir's Corner. Satvir, what do you got for us tonight, man?
Yeah, man. I got start bench cut as always, but we're going to do it a little bit more defensive sided instead of the MVPs. We're going to go towards Jaden McDaniels, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso. I'm making it real tough on you guys. I told you guys I wouldn't take it easy after that first one. That was kind of a trial run, warm up. But I want you guys in the comments down below, please let me know. Start bench cut. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a second to get some comments, and I'll put it in the comment section as well real quick for you guys so you don't have to go searching for it. But what do you guys think about this. Oh man, I cannot wait for the answers. I'm going to pick who goes first, so that way you guys don't get a chance to think too much. It looks like I feel like Joe's ready, man. I want to put Joe on the spot real quick.
Ready. Always ready.
Yeah, I know you're always ready. Come on,
this
man.
is strictly just defense.
This is just who would you start, bench, cut?
Okay, all right.
As a player,
like right
as
now?
a player. Yeah,
Right-
as a player.
Right now?
Right now. Yeah,
Right
as
now.
a player right
Absolutely.
now. Nothing in the future, just right now.
Absolutely, bro. And I'm absolutely starting Lou against Dort. One of my favorite Thunder players of all time. Came in undrafted. Right away, pushes Houston to 7 as an undrafted rookie. Has made extreme strides on the offensive side of the ball, still making them 40% from 3 last year, all defensive team, top 3 in defensive player of the year voting. Starting Lou Dort, no brainer. Off the bench, I'm going to take Alex Caruso, and I'll tell you why, because Jay McDaniels is a hell of a player. He really is. But I think Jack has a point. After tonight, I don't think McDaniels is that great of a defender. He got cooked all Western Conference Finals long, and he got cooked for 40 tonight. So I know it's SGA, but I don't think he's as good as a defender as the people in Minnesota think. And Alex Caruso provides everything. He can provide 3-point shooting. He's so smart. He's so crafty. He's a great defender. He'll take charges. He'll get in the lane. He'll get up with a big man, guard Jaren Jackson Jr. for 4 games in a sweep. He'll guard Nikola Jokic on the free throw line. The game against the San Antonio Spurs last year, he guarded Wemby for 75% of the game, and Wemby couldn't get past the free throw line. Okay? I'm taking Alex Caruso off the bench, and McDaniels can get his ass out of here.
All right, Gabe. You're next.
Oh, this is tough, but I'm going to point out the tough part is not it's not who do I cut. That part's decided. It's who do I start and who do I bench. I'm cutting McDaniels pretty easily. The biggest reason I'm cutting him, like Joe mentioned, the defense wasn't anything crazy, but it's the IQ. McDaniels has a horrifically poor IQ when it comes to just normal. This sounds crazy, but normal behavior. He lashes out. He freaks out. He makes bad decisions. He fouls when he shouldn't. He pushes. He's physical. He is just a player that you do not want on your team, because when it comes down to crunch time, like tonight, he was giving up terrible fouls, just useless, dumb fouls. So I do not want him on my team. As for who do I start, this is tough. I think you almost have to start Dort, just because of knowing that he is one of the best, if not the best, on-ball defenders in the entire NBA that we've seen in a while. So I will start him, but Caruso is real close. You guys know how much I love Alex Caruso. I love everything about Caruso. So it's definitely tough. But yeah, we're starting Dort, benching Caruso. McDaniels can go punch another wall and break his hand.
And throw the ball up in the air and get a technical foul. He did that tonight.
The IQ is horrendous.
Yeah, I was going to say he's one of the most undisciplined defenders and offensive players. He just can't control his emotions, and you kind of need a player to do that. Jack, what do you think?
This is based off right now at this present moment. Well, first off, I'd like to shout out our game preview, because I said that Jaden McDaniels' defense was overrated. So now we're all agreeing, which is good. And then I would cut Jaden McDaniels, and then I would bench Lou Dort, meaning I'd start Caruso. But that is based off just now, only because of Lou Dort's offensive struggles to start the season. Even though he's not doing too bad, I feel like Caruso's having a great offensive year. The 3 balls dropping way more than it was last year, and I think, and you see in all this advanced statistics, he's like the best on our team in nearly all of them. So that's my reasoning for him starting.
There you go.
Awesome.
All right, Gabe, we have reached the 40-minute mark, and I think that's really all covered for tonight. If you want to wrap us up, go ahead.
Yeah, as always, thank you guys for joining. We love reading the comments. We love being able to chat with you guys about the game. You guys know, as always, we're just fans up here, so we love just as much talking with you guys, being able to discuss the game, the stats, and all that good stuff. As Joe mentioned earlier, please, if you guys could, just check out some of our premium stuff. We're not saying you got to go immediately drop money on it, but just give it a little look. Listen to the people talking in the comments. They're not lying to you. But we're trying to get good content to everybody. So even if you're not going to spend money on that, we're still going to keep giving you guys good content here. Don't worry about that. But we got some really good stuff that we've been cooking up as well for the premium. So thank you guys.
I got to mention, I got to mention before we go, this Thunder team has now entered a new realm. We are one of 5 teams in NBA history to start 18-1. So we may get into the top 3 here soon as we continue this win streak. So, man, let's go.
Yo, really quick. Everyone, really quick, just because Indy's the best, bro. Indy's the best.
This is good.
Gabe, start bench cut, turkey, green beans, green bean casserole, and stuffing.
Okay, I would feel sick if I didn't start turkey. It's Thanksgiving. I have to start turkey. And then this is tough though, because stuffing and green bean casserole are both really good. Here's my thoughts. I'm gonna bench the stuffing and cut the green bean casserole. Here's why. Green bean casserole, it's either gonna be really good or it's gonna bomb, bro. Some people make some ass green bean casserole. So starting the turkey, I'm benching the stuffing because that's a dynamic duo. And then unfortunately the green bean casserole's gotta hit the hay.
Jack, your thoughts?
As someone who does not really know what Thanksgiving is about, I'm gonna start turkey. I've never had a green bean casserole before, so I'm gonna cut it and then I'm gonna bench stuffing because I've had turkey and stuffing.
And Sapir.
I am gonna start the stuffing because you can't really mess it up. I'm gonna bench the turkey and cut the green bean casserole because it's easy to just mess up. So
absolutely, I agree with Sapir. Turkey is a little bit overrated of a Thanksgiving food, by the way. So that's going second. All right, one last one we got to get out of here, just because Unk hopped in there too. Turkey noodle stuffing for Unk. But I'm carrying off of what Gabe was saying. What? Okay, anyway, carrying off of what Gabe was saying. Yeah, we appreciate everybody who joins the lives, joins the community as our premium subscriptions, just watches us and comments. We love doing this. We love hanging out with you guys every night that OKC plays. With that being said, we are going to be releasing our weekly episode on Friday, and then we'll get back to you guys on Friday night. I believe OKC is taking on Phoenix, and I think that's all we got for you guys. If you are
Phoenix fans are talking a lot of junk, by the way. They said they're gonna stop this streak and whatnot. They're kind of getting pretty rowdy on X right now, so I'm pumped up for that game.
We'll deal with them on Friday. But to everyone who does celebrate, have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat good food. Eat a lot of it. It's the one day of the year that you can make the whole excuse that no matter how much you eat, it'll be okay. And with that, I mean, that's it. That's it. And Thunder up, baby. Let's go.
Yes,
let's go.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.